financial freedom, what it means and what it meant for us. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good episode to chat about. I think I got into financial freedom stuff because I wanted freedom of location, freedom of travel, freedom of time. And I think as the years have gone by and things have happened in life and blah, 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 I think for me now it's very much about financial peace.
It's those people who go, yeah, you can totally do that you need to be around to then level up a bit yourself.
People in general are fighting this cost of living. Wages aren't going up, and the perception of what it means to become financially free, or at least what you're going to need to become financially free, is getting harder and harder and harder. So do I think it's possible for everybody? Yes. Do I think everybody is ever going to do it? No, definitely not. Hello and welcome to the STARTrading podcast with me, Lewis.
And me, Sophie.
And neither of us know what episode we are on.
Hello.
So today we are going to be talking about financial freedom, what it means and what it meant for us, kind of where we got started, our origin stories, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good episode to chat about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you? Welcome to my house, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, made myself at home, clearly. Yeah.
What have you been up to? We've had the whole summer.
We have had the whole summer.
Any highlights?
I don't know if I've got much of a highlight, to be honest. I just had a lovely weekend with my family. That was really nice, actually. I haven't gone anywhere, which is strange for me. I kind of intentionally chose not to go anywhere. I've done a lot of travelling, having moved house and wanting to renovate the house and it now being a very nice, peaceful space. I don't really want to go anywhere. I just want to be home. Yeah, so it was quite nice just spending time. Oh, we've got flies. Don't get these in my house, Sophie.
We're in the country.
I'm in the country. Yeah, it's just been nice being at home, to be honest, for bits and pieces. And yeah. Oh, I did go to a wedding in Mykonos.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that was cool. Met the Phantom of the Opera.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did he sing?
He did sing a little bit, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, it was brilliant. He was actually also the officiant of the wedding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he wear?
The mask? No, he didn't. No. But it was a really good wedding. It was great. Shout out to my friend John.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So what does financial freedom mean to you?
My summer was great, by the way.
How was your summer?
Yeah, I really want to tell you about the time I went to France with my
Is that
husband's
in the
family
summer?
for a week. Yeah.
Oh, but tell me more
didn't
about
come
that. Why didn't he go
because
with
his
you?
passport expired and he only realised the day before.
No.
So everyone check your passports.
That is a travel
Very important.
nightmare. Yeah.
We had fun.
I do like how we talk about him like he isn't in the room.
Yeah, he's just there.
So I don't know why we both awkward drank wine then. So France was great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Cool. So what does financial freedom mean to you?
Yeah. Well, I thought we should talk about this because you are obviously very successful.
Thank you.
Living your best life.
Living my best dressing gown fantasy.
Yeah. Everyone watch the video if you're not currently. But yeah, you've got this house in the country, your amazing partner, and you're traveling and you're speaking, and people are like, well, that's not relatable, that's not me. But I feel like I've got a successful property business and teaching about finances and mentoring people and living in beautiful Swanage. But actually a few years ago we were both just working 9 to 5, weren't we?
Yeah. And
I want to kind of illustrate to people that if you're working 9 to 5 right now and you've got a fixed income and things are tough and you get to the end of the month and you run out of money, you can change it and things can get better if you just do a few things. So I thought maybe by telling our story, we can show that we were there before and we've built something and other people can do it as well.
So I think a good question to ask at the start then for both of us is, what were you doing before you started even the journey? Does that make sense? So maybe what was it that triggered that decision to start that journey?
Yeah. Tell me what yours was first.
Okay, well, I was kind of throwing it at you. So for me, I don't know if there was a specific trigger. I mean, there's a weird memory I have of doing a paper round when I was 13 years old. And I remember delivering the papers through the doors and just thinking, I don't trust pensions.
What? Really?
I know, what a weird thing. And I think the reason why I did that, and I was thinking at the time about property investment, like why would I have a pension pot when I could have property which pays me money each month? I mean, very simplistic thinking back then, of course, but that was kind of where my head was. And I think it's because my parents, who were both teachers, I remember very clearly a couple of times where my dad was opening up post in the kitchen and he was ranting and raving, as he likes to do. But this letter had said basically that the pension they were promised was now no longer what they were going to get. It was going to be less than what they were promised. So all these financial plans for the future and expectations that they had were just completely switched up on them, and they weren't actually what they were promised, which, first of all, is utterly criminal, in my opinion, but B, you don't have any control or say over it, and so they weren't the masters of their own destiny.
Yeah.
And so I think even at that early age, I just had a distrust for what the traditional system was, and I'd always wanted to have a life that wasn't the norm. I never wanted the normality, and I never knew what that looked like, and I just kind of went through for years still the motions of this is what you do, you go to university, and I never wanted to go to university, but I didn't know what else to do. So I didn't have like a big passion or anything when I was 18 and deciding what to do with my entire life. So I did a gap year, and then I thought, well, I still don't know what to do at the end of this gap year, so I'll go to university. Did that, end up leaving university after the 3 years, coming back to London, living with my parents and working in retail, and realising this was not the life I wanted. And so that's when I worked my way up into head office within that company. That's when I kind of started looking at other ways to generate an income.
What was your salary in retail?
So when I was on the shop floor, it was less than 16,000, and when I was in head office, it was 19,000. Lol.
Yeah.
Living in central London, trying to have a social life. My rent alone, my take home was probably about 1,200. My rent alone was 800.
Wow.
So how people make that last, I don't really know.
But I mean, what's the typical salary right now? Like 26?
No, I don't think it even is that high now. I think it depends again, out of university, unskilled, all of that type of thing. But I think it's probably early 20s, probably. Yeah, it's still very low. And the cost of living has gone up, and we all know that wages have not gone up in line with that.
Yeah, my food shop the other day was absolutely insane.
Stop buying caviar.
No, I'm not. I'm not. It was a weekly food shop. I think it's doubled in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm a crisp connoisseur along with Chinese takeaway, as we know. A standard packet of crisps of like a supermarket own brand is now like at least £1.50.
What?
Yeah. Madness. That's what Tyrrell's used to be last year.
That's not okay.
It's not okay.
What are Tyrrell's now? £3? £4?
Close to, yeah. There's one brand which are really nice called Truffaut or Tarufo or something. They're like nearly £5 for just a bag of crisps.
What?
I mean, share bag, but there's no such thing as a share bag of crisps. They're all mine.
No.
Yeah, so I just think people in general are fighting this cost of living. Wages aren't going up, and the perception of what it means to become financially free, or at least what you're going to need to become financially free, is getting harder and harder and harder. But we'll maybe talk about how we can get there and what it takes to get there.
I mean, does that make it even harder to get out of?
Yes and no. I think with great difficulty comes great opportunity, and there is still so much opportunity out there. I mean, we were talking over dinner, weren't we, about if you ever think there's a lack of money in the world, just pop yourself down to Mayfair in London, spend 20 minutes looking around at how people spend their money, how they're living. There's not a cost of living crisis for a lot of people. There really isn't. So I'm not saying that all those people are good people or anything like that, but there is money out there. There's ways to make that money out there. We just maybe have to do things differently to how we've done them before.
I love you in that dressing gown.
Thanks very much.
Just so wise.
I'm a sage.
You just wear it all the time.
I'm a rainbow cloud
you
sage. So what's your origin story then?
Well, I've got an unusual one. Like, I've always not minded doing different things to the crowd. Like, I've always noticed, especially in Britain, like, people will go with the crowd and queue and do things like that. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it my way. And I've never minded that. I don't know why. So when I left school, my parents said to me, you can do anything you want with your future, but you have to get a degree. You have to go to uni. And I was like, okay, I don't understand that, but fine. Took a gap year, went to Malaysia, did loads of scuba diving, ran my first dive school, lived my best life. And then I came back to uni and I studied British and American policy studies because it involved a year out in America. So I was like, That one's got traveling in it.
Yeah.
But because I'd spent a year in Malaysia, I had dated a guy. Did I tell you this story before?
I think I've heard
Who was
about.
part of
Yeah.
this tribe, whose grandfather was a headhunter, like actually went and cut people's heads off and hung them at the village entrance. And I was fascinated by this
I didn't know that
cultural
bit.
story. You didn't know?
No.
Yeah, he took me to the sort of historic part of the village where they had a historic hut with little skulls, basically, of the final people who had been headhunted. So it was really interesting. And so when I actually started uni in Kent, I instantly switched to anthropology,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a study of other people,
Funny enough,
economics, kinship, politics.
that's what I wished I had have studied.
Yeah.
So I find it absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but not like 10K fascinating, or
Fair.
these days 30K
Flipping
fascinating.
heck, yeah.
Like if I would rewind, or I'll probably advise my kids, it's like if you go to uni, like do something that gives you skills, like I
Yeah.
don't know, nursing or engineering or something.
Yeah, yeah.
If not,
What's
I
the
had a
point?
very interesting 3 years, but it was unlikely that I was going to go out and actually be a field anthropologist and go
Yeah.
live with hidden tribes.
And even if you did, you were probably not going to make your money back.
I don't know. It would have been fun though.
Yeah.
So I did 3 years of anthropology and then worked every summer as a diving instructor in different areas of the world, and then ended up buying a beach and starting a dive resort. But I think that was my first taste of business, and that kind of taught me that if you want to make more money, you just make more money. Like we would do sales and marketing, and we would get guest bookings in and make our money that way. And we had 6 cottages to start with. And it just ticked over. Like, I can't believe how we managed to pay ourselves, pay all our staff, pay for food and supplies and rations and dive
Yeah.
gear and all the things. And it just ticked along, and it was a successful business, but we managed it. And then we had this guy who wanted to come back the next year, and he said, I want to come back with my 2 nephews. So we need a room and a twin room for 3 weeks. So it was a big booking for us. They wanted to do accommodation, diving, like that was a lot of money, but we didn't have room. So I said to Simon, like, should we just build it? Should we just build 2 more rooms?
Yeah.
And it would cost us a week of that booking's income to build the rooms. And the next 2 weeks would be profit, and any other bookings would be profit. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Built the rooms, took the bookings, and we now had 8 rooms. So yeah, like
Amazing.
just build it. Just build more, make more. And when you're in control of your business, you can add these little income streams on, can't you? You can be creative and
Yeah.
entrepreneurial and like be quite flexible.
Yeah.
So when we came back from Indonesia, we were like, oh my God, I'm in England now. I need to get a job. And we both got jobs, and we were like, right, this is my salary. That's it, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fixed. And it was really tough. And I also found it tough to work for people. I was doing a marketing job, and I got this job, and it was a kind of sales and marketing job selling online courses. And the guy said to me, if you sell 10 grand's worth of courses, then you'll get X amount of commission. And I've actually done 20 grand's worth of courses before, so it'll be fine for you. And what he didn't tell me was that he'd done a 20 grand month once in the last 5 years, and he averaged 2. So I was like calculating my commission based on what he told me. And I did 5, 6, 7, 8 grand months, but never the 20, that he'd once done once.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I need to do a different structure with you. Maybe you could give me shares in the business. Maybe you could do this, this, and this. He was like, no, 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 no. So I was like, I need something else, because it was fixed and it was below my expectations.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I need my own business again so I can grow it.
Yeah.
And the property business I've got is so good, because every time we add a property, we add a chunk of profit to the business.
Yeah.
And working in a salary, it's just fixed forever.
Completely fixed.
You can negotiate a pay rise, you can maybe get a side hustle, side income, but when you're in charge, you can just add and build and scale and grow, which I find really exciting.
So this is a really interesting thought then, because there's a difference as well between owning your own business and it being a successful business and financial freedom. They're still 2 very distinct things.
Yeah.
Now, I think partly because one of your businesses is property, which does have a passive element to it, which we think more as an investing thing then, although there's a lot that goes into property, as we know, as a business. But what kind of helps you shift from a mindset of run a business and work all the time to work once and generate an income and become
Mm,
passive, maybe have more passive income streams or lower time commitment income, shall we
yes,
say, and therefore have financial freedom?
that's a very good question. And I think it was when I would be on my laptop and I'd be like, I'm a working parent. I can spend time with my kids. And then my kids would come back from school. I'd be like, Mummy's just working right now, thinking, what hardworking example I am.
Yeah,
But they just wanted to play with me. And I'd be like, just 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. And then it hit me like, what am I doing? I'm doing this for more freedom with my kids,
yeah,
but I'm sat here working. So yeah, I've just worked really hard to systemize it, get people in, delegate it, put processes in. So now I kind of work part time.
yeah.
So yeah, we were in France over the summer holidays for a week, but nothing changed. The business ticked over. It kept increasing the profit margin each month. So yeah, that
Brilliant.
was it. I think it's just time, isn't it? Like there's all these sayings and these words that people say that are like what really makes you wealthy, and it's not the stuff, it's not the luxury car or the watch or the pile of cash, it's the time you can spend with people, it's the having a lie-in when you want, or going out for lunch when you want, or spending
Yeah.
time with your loved ones that
So if
money can't actually buy.
if you had to define for you, because I do think it's different for every person,
Mm.
if you had to define for you what does financial freedom mean, what would your answer be?
I think uh it's a lot of family time. It's having a treat if you want to have a treat.
Yeah,
Traveling. It's just that freedom, isn't it?
yeah.
What about you?
I think for me it's, and I think it does change over
Mm.
time. I think I got into financial freedom stuff because I wanted freedom of location, freedom of travel, freedom of time. And I think as the years have gone by and things have happened in life and blah 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 blah, I think for me now it's very much about financial peace. And I've had technically financial peace for quite a long time, but I always think you can have a little bit more. I can create more financial peace not just for me but for my loved ones, and I can
Mm.
create more financial peace for my wider network and then for the people that I help. And I think that is really what I think my mission has become more and more about, is that element of it. Is yes, you want freedom of choice, but really you want to be peaceful.
Mm.
You don't want to be stressed out about where the next pound is going to come from, the next
Yeah.
dollar is going to come
Mm.
from. You don't want to worry about that. If something goes wrong in life, you don't want to worry that you can't afford to pay for it.
Yeah.
And even that there's levels. So one of my mentors at the moment, he was taking his kid to university in America. They live in Europe, and the plane was cancelled. So they just hired a private jet. No problem, no big deal. Get a private jet. We'll
Wow.
get over there, solve the problem. And I was like, that is like another level.
Mm.
I'm not there yet, but I could get there if I keep doing what I'm doing and I work the way I'm working, all of that kind of thing. And that for me is just true peace. Like there's nothing that can happen that you can have an issue with because you can cover it financially.
Mm.
Like that's exciting to me.
Yeah. And I think it's also a mindset thing of you saying, I can get there. Like in a few years' time, I will have the choice of, okay, my flight's cancelled, I'll just get a jet. Like for some people, they'll be like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
But is that possible for anyone? Do you reckon anyone could do that?
Um, Part of me wants to say yes, and I feel like the right answer
Mm.
is to say yes, but I don't think everybody wants that. And I don't think everyone's willing to do the work to get there. Like passive income, financial freedom is amazing. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen because you manifested it without doing any work. You have to do the work to get there. I mean, we were talking about this before as well. Like to get to the point I'm at with my own trading, I've been trading now for over 10 years. I didn't become an overnight success.
Mm.
I still make mistakes. Of course I do. I'm a human being. But I've built and built and built and built, yes, my account, but also my skill set, also my mindset to the point where it's at now, to have the results and the fruit that I have now as well. So I do I think it's possible for everybody? Yes. Do I think everybody is ever going to do it? No, definitely not. because they don't have the willingness to actually do the work that's required to get there, even if they think they do.
Interesting. I think it's totally achievable. I think we're all human.
Yeah.
And there are humans out there generating 7 figures, 8 figures, going on private jets. They're not that special. They're not that amazing. They've just
And they're not
built
that
and
smart
they've just
either,
kept
yeah.
going.
They just kept going.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like, people say, sometimes people say, "Oh, how have you managed to build what you've built, Lewis?" Just kept going.
Yeah.
Even when I wanted to give up, I've not. Just keep on going. And I think that's where I don't think everybody is willing to keep on going. So although I think it is possible for everybody, I don't think everybody will be willing to keep on going.
And I think part of it also is important to surround yourself by people at the same level or above, because we're both talking about things like, expanding our business, scaling our business, exiting the business, selling, like big things, big numbers. And there are a lot of people we can't talk to about that. But there are other people we can definitely talk to about that, or who have done it, or who have done 10 times that.
And who it's small numbers.
Yeah. And
like,
it's those people who go, yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
That you need to be around to then level up a bit yourself.
And this is one of the things which brings me a lot of comfort, is nobody more successful than you is going to criticize you for trying. The only people who criticize you for trying and putting yourself out there and doing this and doing that are the people who aren't doing it.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? It tells you an awful lot, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think financial freedom is definitely something that everybody should be working towards in whatever capacity and whatever that looks like for them.
There you go.
There you go. Boom,
Cracked it.
Mic drop.
Should we have a snack?
Yes. Should we do some magic then?
Let's do some magic, Lewis.
So, ready?
Yeah?
In 3, 2, 1. Wow. Look
Wow.
at that. This magic is still strong,
I
isn't
love
it? Powerful. Yeah. Right, I'm going to open
Go
this.
ahead.
Wow.
What have you got?
Well, it looks like the fairies got to it before I did, because it already looks open. So someone's interested in this. So for the interest of the tape, these are called Rainbow Go-Go's, and they are rainbow colour. They look like they're going to be really sour.
They match your dressing gown.
They do match my dressing gown, indeed. That's very true. So yeah, they look like they're rainbow sours.
The microphone's doing its own thing.
It's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
It's trying to upstage me.
Yeah.
So I'm quite surprised by these, because it's not M&S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What happened to M&S?
Well,
Hard times.
yeah.
Tough time
I
financially.
can't remember where they came from. Maybe Asda.
Oh God.
Well, I wanted to increase the surprise points.
Yeah, it matches my outfit though. It does. Right. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm worried about how sour this is gonna be, from memory. Oh, not sour.
Not sour.
Quite sweet, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It reminds me of something, but I couldn't tell you what. I think cheap communion wine from when I was at church. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
I actually am.
Yeah?
I would have another one.
You've got a whole pack.
So surprise.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 because
Yeah?
I was expecting M&S.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit disappointed. I intentionally avoided M&S, thinking you would.
That's my turf.
Your turf, yeah. Tastes, I actually do really like it. So I think another 8 out of 10.
Great.
Yeah, good snack. Do you want one?
Okay. I'll see what you've brought me first.
Okay, cool.
Right, ready?
Ready.
Oh, it's a packet of something.
What might it be?
It's a daily.
Uh-huh.
That reminds, like, daily, I just feel like it's a wet wipe or something. Do you know what I mean? Like a
moist
cosmetic
towelette.
daily. But no, it's a croissant filled with strawberry jam.
Well, you must have been having a lot of these because apparently you've been in France.
I was in France recently and we
Yeah.
had a fresh croissant from the boulangerie.
That's
so,
pretty nice.
yeah, tough to beat.
I think this is going to be close to that,
Do
though.
you think so?
Mhm.
And I also had 2 fillet steak in France that was so good.
I've never heard that
What?
you've had 2 fillet steaks before.
Have I not told you about
I
them?
think you might have
They
done.
were really good. And when I came back, Simon was like, let's do steak this week. And I was like, no, it's too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Too soon.
But he got us fillet steak and it was very good. Anyway, the croissant. Okay, it's not crispy,
Is it not?
but it's kind of springy, fresh.
I mean, if that is fresh, I'd be very surprised, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite pleasant. I would warm it up and have it for breakfast. Best before December. We've got a few months
We've
yet.
got a few months, yeah.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
Surprise 8.
Yeah.
Taste 5.
Okay, that's better than a 4.
Yeah, it's better
Yeah.
than a 4. It's very average.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the podcast. We will see you soon.
Bye.